Hey everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let's clear up. Hold on. Let's clear something up. Hold on. Get some clear. Yeah, there you go. Have to wipe it clean. Good morning. Good morning. It's Friday. Yes, I know what you're saying. No, it's Thursday, depending on when you're watching it. It's Friday because it's St. Patrick's Day and schools close tomorrow. So if you're a parent, you understand that when schools are closed, Thursdays or Fridays. I'm gonna let a couple of folks get into the room. Hopefully, we'll have some folks join us to talk about guarding your focus, being you, being you. Mm-mm-mm, mm-mm-mm. Since I work from home and I work for myself, I wonder sometimes what are people doing at 9 a.m.? What are you doing? Hmm. Mm-mm. What's going on, people? What's going on? Jen, what's going on, Jen? Jen, how's it down there? What's going on down there? Is it hot down there? Because it's getting hot up here. I'm on flip flops now. All right. All right. So, so today, I want to address, I think, something that is top of mind for so many people on social media and otherwise around just comparisons. Jen says, I'm in Atlanta caring for my mom. She's, oh man, I hope she gets better. Back in the A. I hope she feels better. Knees, hips. Listen, I understand the whole nine. Tell her to take it easy too. Definitely. Um, I want to talk about why it's okay to be where you are, whatever that may mean for you, wherever you may be. And the reason why is because I use social media for the purposes of staying connected to friends, but also it's very important for me for business. And I will admit, prior to I think 2 years ago, I wasn't on social media for maybe 10 years because I'm just not, I didn't grow up in the social media era and it just I never caught on to it. It wasn't a big deal to me. And that's okay because I think there's goodness in it. Just like life, there's goodness in many things. And then things that are good can sometimes also be troubling. But I wanted to, I see so much on social media. I listen to a lot, I read a lot, and I see people struggling with social media. I see some of the even people who are really popular on social media struggling with it because it's easy to really compare what's happening in other people's lives with your life when you're on social media, especially now. 20 years ago, that wasn't the case. And, for those of us who didn't grow up in social media, you know, we didn't have this comparison analysis, right? And so we only could compare what was in front of us, what we knew about, what we were exposed to from a cultural standpoint as well. And because of that, it was limited. Now, to that degree, the world has just is advanced now, and so many things that are really good for us can really turn tragic for us if we don't manage our minds and guard our focus. I want to talk about managing our mind and guarding our focus. But I want to share with you a little story to give you some context to why managing our minds and guarding your focus is essential in this advanced world that we live in, so that the advancements of the world don't become toxic for us, but they become value to us. And there's a fine line. When I was in high school, I was in 11th grade. I went to a college party. And those of you from Atlanta, have been in Atlanta, know that Atlanta's a party town. It's always been a party town. Even when it was before the Olympics, it was a party town. We had good parties. But when I was a junior, I started, we started driving, and we started participating in things that we weren't old enough for yet. You get where I'm going. And a couple of my friends, we went out to a party. At the time, the college was called West Georgia College. I know if you're from Atlanta, if you live in Georgia, you know what I'm talking about. It's not called West Georgia anymore. It's called something else. It was called West Georgia College, and we went to this party at West Georgia College, and it was fun, and we were having a good time, and there was a club. There was a club off of campus, right off of campus, and at the time, the after party of the party, the Omegas, Omega Psi Phi, the Omegas threw the after party, and we went to the after party, and we were doing things we weren't supposed to be doing as young people, having a good time. But the Omegas were there. And growing up in my life in Atlanta, I was surrounded by Omega men, the fraternity, Omega men. And there was one particular Omega man in my life who I always looked up to. And I say, man, I just like this guy. This guy is a good person. He has a family. He comes around. He helps us. My dad wasn't in my home, even though I know my dad. He didn't live with us. And this guy was always just helpful and just giving me advice. And I saw him as a father figure type of guy. And he was an Omega. And I was drawn to that. I was drawn to I'll keep it real. I was drawn to the manliness of him. I was drawn to the fun. He was still fun kind of person. He was smart. He just embodied all the things that I thought a man was, and that's just my lens, growing up as a young person. And he was an Omega man, and I just wanted to be an Omega. And so when I went to this party, it was the first party I ever been to as a young person, the college party at least. And I went to this party. I remember at that party at West Georgia College, I took the flyer. For that party. It was a black and white flyer. Let me tell you something. This is 1993. It was a black and white flyer. Literally white piece of paper, black writing on it. I took that flyer and I took it home with me. I took that flyer and I took a little tack and I put it up in my room, right in front of my bed. Like literally, the wall in front of my bed was probably 4 feet wide. And I remember I had a picture on that wall, and above that picture, I put that tack in that flyer above that picture. And I said I would never take that picture down, or that flyer down at least, until I pledge Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. I didn't know when it was going to happen. I didn't know if it, where it was going to happen, but I knew that it will happen. And I'm not taking it down until it happens. Well, fast forward 5 years. I had been trying to get down with Omega Psi Phi for a couple of years. I've been in the process of a couple of years, and I can't go into it, and I won't go into the details of it. But essentially, basically, what happened was it took me almost 2 years to become an Omega man, and I remember going home when I crossed, and everybody's happy about pledging and crossing. Everybody's excited about it, and I was excited as well. I mean, it took me a while to get there. I went through a lot to get there. My line name was Perseverance. I mean, evidence of what really transpired through my process. But when I went home, I only had one goal in mind. It was to go get that flyer. To get that flyer, I want to pull that flyer down and look at that flyer and say, job done. Job well done. And I did. I went to that flyer and I pulled it down. And I was so full of emotion that I couldn't even cry because it was so heavy that I processed the process of getting to that point 5 years later, to the point of being able to pull that flyer down and put it in the book. And I'll tell you this, I still have that flyer. When it gets to a point to where I need to be reminded that we must manage our minds and guard our focus, I take a look at that flyer. And I know that life gets complex sometimes, and you got things going on in life and families and work and bills and illness and all types of things that are happening around us. But I remember in those moments, in that 2-year process of trying to become an Omega man, I remember that there was only one objective, no matter what. And that was the finish. Nothing could stop that process. I was focused. I was focused on the process of achieving something that I had already told myself would happen. I didn't know the timeline. I didn't know where it was going to happen. I just knew it would happen, and nothing would be able to stand in my way. I had to manage my mind and guard my focus through school and bad grades and trying to get good grades and no money and struggling in my personal life. All the things that come about when you're in college. I had to guard my focus. And so now almost 24 years later, I'm still talking about managing your mind and guarding your focus in an evolving world where we are so far more advanced than we were 24 years ago, where we didn't have so many distractions in front of us. We didn't have so many opportunities to compare ourselves to others. We didn't have so many connections throughout the world, things that connected us so instantaneously, so quickly. We didn't have it. And yet, even then, we must guard our focus. Now more than ever, we're not managing our minds. We're not guarding our focus. Young people are growing up not understanding fully the power that they have, the control that they have within themselves to manage what's transpiring around them. Because all we have to do is guard our focus, control the controllable. I share that story because within that story is embedded a couple of things that speak to the 3 points that I'm going to share with you right now. Embedded in that story are 3 things that had to happen for me to get to Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, which has been a blessing of my life. And those of you in fraternities and sororities or in any organization or group that means anything to you, understand what I'm talking about. Embedded in that story are these 3 points that I'm going to share with you. And I am I am keen on these 3 points because to the day I die, they will be the 3 points that mean everything when it comes to managing your mind. It's okay to be where you are. It's okay to be where you are. It can be in confusion. It can be in dismay. It can be in frustration. It's okay. Wherever you are, it's okay. But today I want to talk about what's next. I want to talk about what's next. I want to affirm that it's okay. I get it. You may be seeing stuff happen in folks' lives that's just blowing you away. And why isn't it me? And what's going on? And why I didn't get 40 under 40? And why I didn't get 50 under 50? Or why I didn't get top 20 under 20? Why I didn't get the call from that company? Why? So many whys. I understand that. It's right in front of you. It feels like you're not where you're supposed to be. I have a lot of conversations with folks that are doing amazing things in the world, and they feel as though they're not where they're supposed to be. It's something they're feeling empty. And I'm gonna tell you something. There's no job, no car, no house, no salary, no relationship that's gonna fill the void that you're trying to feel. Because it's okay where you are. It's okay to be who you are, where you are. No matter what's happening right now, today's conversation is about what's next. So I want to talk about 3 things about what's next. I want to speak on how we guard our focus. How are you guarding your focus to be where you want to be truly in life, aside from filling the void? When people tell me they want a new job, or they want more money, or they don't feel comfortable where they are right now, I don't ask them, well, what's next for you. I don't ask them, what's the next job for you. I said, what are you trying to feel? What void? What's missing for you? I want to tell you that we have to start by guarding your focus. You can't answer that question without guarding your focus. You can't answer the question without intentionally being present with what's happening inside of you while you're trying to fill the void with all the things that are outside of you. So you got to guard your focus. This is the first point I want to talk about. The first point I want to talk about in guarding your focus is this. I need you to take some action. In the story I shared with you, listen, the first thing I did was take action. I took that flyer and I put it on the wall, and I said, it won't come down until I do what I said I'm going to do. It won't come down. And remember now, every time I go home, I have to see that flyer on the wall. I had been home a number of times with people from school, with friends. I saw the flyer. I had to see it every time I walked in the room. It was a reminder that I have things to do. That whatever's going on around me, whatever is the shiny new thing, the shiny new object, whatever that may be, I needed to understand that I had things to do. I had to take action. The action that I took was I put it up on the wall and I made the statement to myself. This is what I'm after, first and foremost. So the first thing that we must do when we decide to guard our focus is we must take action. We must write it down. We must write it down. I talk about writing a lot, and it seems so simple. But anytime I have a coaching engagement, anytime I am working with a client, partner, anytime I'm doing anything helping someone, I'm always asking them, Are you writing it down? Is it written? A lot of people have heard the saying, if you can't measure it, it doesn't exist. I don't necessarily believe that in fullness, but you get the gist. But I do have a saying, if you don't write it, it won't happen. I believe that fully. If you don't write it, it won't happen. You must take action. In order to guard your focus, you must write it down. The second step is something that I did that's, I didn't talk about a lot in the story piece of it, but you must plan your day. Like you must be planful. You must literally schedule your day. When I look at my phone right now, I shared somebody the other day. I literally plan my day from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. Plan my day. Now I know what you're saying. You can't every single day. I plan every single minute of every single day. Literally. In my phone. Even if it just says dinner. Prepare to pick up the kids. Lunch. Whatever the meetings are. Break. Wake up and sit for 30 minutes. I literally have them wake up and pray. Well, does it happen every single day? Do you follow every single day, Glenn? No. Obviously, no. It's not about perfection. It's about planning. If you were serious about guarding your focus, you must plan it. When I was looking to become an Omega man, I literally was like, this is how it's going to happen. I'm going to do this with schoolwork. I'm going to then go do this. I'm going to go to tennis practice. I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to, I had to plan my day around the goal of becoming an Omega man. I had to guard my focus. I was doing other things. I was in student government. I was in athletics. I was in freshman year. I was in the band. I mean, listen, I had stuff going on. I had a personal life. Like but I had to guard my focus. I had to plan my day. We call that intention. I want you to write it down. The first step is action. The second step is intention. Are you being intentional about guarding your focus? It's okay to be where you are right now. But if you need a next step, I need you to be intentional about guarding your focus. The last piece that I'm going to share with you is it's pretty deep. It's pretty deep. And I'm going to challenge you. Because this is the one that we get caught up in. The last point is about having grace over grind. I know what you're thinking. You got to grind it out. You just got to grind it out. You got to just, this word grind, And let's not confuse grind with grit. Let's not confuse grind with grit. Grind implies something that I don't believe in. Grit I believe in. Grind I don't. You ever grinded something? You ever grinded something? Like food maybe, or sand, or anything, just grinding something? It's not comfortable. Grind ain't comfortable. And I know you got to be uncomfortable. No, grinding something is not only not comfortable, it kind of feels like you're not getting anywhere sometimes, right? I prefer grace over grind. And why do I say that? I say that because guarding your focus is not a perfect journey. I say grace over grind because when all hell breaks loose and things go left and right, and you need to come back to your center, grinding isn't going to get you there. Grace will. Grace will. Jennifer said, grind is painful. It's painful. Grace doesn't insinuate that you're not working. Grace says that you understand that the journey isn't perfection. Grace over grind. A better word for it, the third word for it in this 3-point philosophy is adapting. I want you to adapt. When you choose grace, I want you to adapt. Because to guard your focus, you must be adaptable. Yeah, you got your schedule planned every single day. Yeah, I understand what I'm going to do every single moment, every single day. But I understand that things come up. Kids have to call home and they need stuff, or kids leave stuff at home, or the job takes a left turn, or your personal life takes a right turn, or something's happening in your life where it steps into your schedule. And if you're all about the grind and you have no grace, you're gonna lose your ever-loving mind. If you're all about the grind and you don't have grace, you will lose your mind, because things will come up. Things will happen. That is a guarantee. Even when you're trying to guard your focus, the world don't care about your focus. Stuff gonna come up. So I select grace over grind because you must be adaptable. Let's talk about it. The first is action. The second is intention. Right? Right? And the third is adaptable. Action, intention, and adaptability. That's how you guard your focus. I mean, listen to me. This message isn't for everybody, because everybody's not there. But I'll tell you what. I hear and I see more people than ever off focus. You want X, but you're not willing to do what's necessary. You want Y, but you're not willing to do what's necessary. You want all these things. You desire these things in life. You desire peace, but you're not willing to go through the valley. You desire financial freedom, but you're not willing to financially struggle. You desire a lot of things, but you're not guarding your focus. And for that, it's going to be a struggle. So, what does that mean? It means that it's okay to be where you are, because so many people are where you are. So many people are where you are just looking around. So many people are where you are just trying to figure it out. But what's not okay is not knowing how to get to next. And so if you guard your focus, that's what can happen. You can get to next. I want you to write it down. I want you to plan your day. And I want you to understand that grace over grind is where you should be living. All right. Be blessed.